All right, hopefully you have already done the activity that I asked you to do, where you would do the paraphrasing of each of these lines and figure out where they go. I'd like you now to look at the second page on there where it talks about, there's this bulleted list of things that are typical of sonnets. So sonnets are 14 lines. They have to be 14 lines. If they are not 14 lines, they are not a sonnet. They have to have a rhyming pattern. The rhyming pattern will tell you a little bit about what, which kind of sonnet you're dealing with, whether you're dealing with Shakespearean, whether you're dealing with Petrarchan. In a Shakespearean sonnet, which is the one that we're focusing on today, ABAB, CDCD, EFEF, GG is usually the rhyming pattern. There has to be a particular rhythm. The rhythm is always iambic pentameter. If it's not iambic pentameter, it's not a sonnet. And I admire those of you who tried to do sonnets in your portfolios. But if you did not have that rhythm, then you did not have a sonnet. Sorry. Typical ideas or content. Sonnets are poems of praise. They are about saying how awesome somebody is or something is in general. Shakespearean sonnets especially are poems of praise. Now, if you look at Petrarchan sonnets, those tend to get used for things that are a little bit deep thought kinds of ideas. The language usually makes references to nature. So some sort of reference to nature. And then the development of arrangement of ideas. This is actually where the secret decoder ring part comes into working with sonnets. So when you're working with a Shakespearean sonnet, you have one idea in the first quatrain, one idea in the second quatrain, one idea in the third quatrain, and then in the fourth or the couplet at the end, you have sort of a summary idea. So now that you've kind of worked on paraphrasing, I just started making strange noises on my computer. I don't know why. Now that you've worked on paraphrasing, let's look at this sonnet. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Notice there's end punctuation at the end of that first quatrain because it's the end of the idea. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. Again, end-ish punctuation here. But such an important word. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. So the first quatrain, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So I could compare you to a summer's day. Here's how that comparison would work. You are prettier. You are more temperate. You don't run as hot and cold as summer does. Summer doesn't last very long. Therefore, you are better than a summer's day. That's the first quatrain, first idea. Second idea, second quatrain. Here are some more problems with summer. Sometimes it's too hot. Sometimes it's too dark. Everything that is beautiful sometimes declines, and summer will eventually end. Again, these are things that suck about summer. Second idea. Third idea, but your eternal summer will not end. You will not lose your beauty. Death shall not brag that it has you in its shade, because of these eternal lines. So this is a new idea here talking about you and how you are better than summer. And then the last two lines, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this and this gives life to thee. So because of this poem, as long as people see this poem, as long as human beings are still alive, as long as this poem is still alive, you are still alive and more wonderful than summer ever could be. So I want you to look at one of 3 Shakespearean sonnets. Hold please while I get my paper ready. 4 Shakespearean sonnets. One of them is Sonnet 55. It's on page 678 in your book. One is Sonnet 116. It's on page 930 in your book. One is Sonnet 73. It's on 954 in your book. One is Sonnet 29. It's on page 1234 in your book. So I want you to pick one of those sonnets, and then, where did I put that tab? Oh, here it is. Nope, that's not it. Hold please while we wander around. Anyway, I don't remember. I must have closed it. Go back to that bulleted list. And I want you to, I'll put a Google Doc on Schoology, but I want you to fill in, yes, it's 14 lines. I want you to check. I want you to put what the rhyme scheme is. It will probably be A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G, but it could be different, especially if he duplicates a sound. I want you to put the, where is it? I want you to check the rhythm on at least a couple of lines and confirm that it's iambic pentameter. I want you to talk about what makes it a poem of praise. This is a poem of praise because you are beautiful and you will last forever. I want you to talk about any comparisons that there are to nature. Look, you're just like a summer's day in nature with darling buds of May and all that kind of fun stuff. And then I want you to tell me what the idea structure is, how the idea structure works. So what's the first quatrain? What's the second quatrain? What's the third quatrain? And then what's going on in the couplet? So I will have on Schoology, for lack of a better term, a worksheet, but a sheet where these instructions exist and where you can fill those things in. Carry on.